Hey family, we're back. So Danai was talking about, yeah, a lack of submission, a lack of humility, a lack of selflessness, and yeah, what that does for us or doesn't do for us. So we're going to be, she's going to be unpacking that a little bit more shortly. Y'all need to forgive me. Like I am on one today, and I'm really not in the mood to take nonsense from anybody. You know, because a lot of these people just come here looking for. And I'm not entertaining trolls. I'm not entertaining foolishness. I'm really not. Sometimes they try and disguise it like a sensible conversation. It's actually not. We see it far too often. We know what's going on. D.
Right. So as I was saying, Lil Miss Thing reported me for correcting her. I literally corrected her. And for correcting her, she reported me for bullying. And Instagram was like, sorry, we have, I'll even read it to you. Because when they do that, I screenshot it. Like, hold up, let me see what I'm being reported for so I can, where are you? Right here. That's what it said. I got that. And it says, your comment goes against our community guidelines. And I want to read the comment just for the record, because I want anybody who thinks that I was bullying to understand what I did and why I did it. This is the post. It specifically says, fellas, not ladies. Fellas, question, what do you wish that women knew about the damage that they cause in dating and relationships? Please be clear but honest. Ladies, how are we supposed to learn these kinds of things if I can't ask the men? I have a platform with 125,000 men, and I'm taking the time on my platform to ask the men insightful questions like this so you all can learn. I know the answers to these questions. I'm doing this so you can learn. And what does she do? Report me. She didn't listen to any of that. And then I'm just going into exactly what she said because she's up here pretty soon. Where are you, my friend? So I'm going to tell you what I ended up doing. And in fact, I'd rather do it on here because it's just bigger. Because I have because it's because I don't want to use my glasses. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to read you the comment that she reported because I think it's important regarding what we're talking about. All right, where are you, my friend?
Well, to me, I have the same question.
Here she is. First of all, she said, and she didn't even write properly so I could understand, but she says they need to understand that the way that they operate is like a feminine, toxic, feminine, none of which she's spelling properly, nowhere near masculine, man up for real. The reason women go crazy, controlling, etc. is because you're not leading by your own natural masculine or by the word. Therefore, naturally, a woman picks up the slack, which is too much. We can't control men, only our sons. It's better to dive in when there's an understanding and acceptance of both roles. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. Okay. So we went back and forth. I know. It made no sense. It made no sense. So we went back and forth, but that's gone now because of the interruption with Instagram. But my final comment to her was, you don't follow directions. You're not going to get along well with men. You're too rebellious. Be angry if you like, but I'm here to tell the truth. Everything isn't about you. When it's about another person, meaning the men, give them the floor. When you refuse, you insist on your own way, which is entitlement. 1 Corinthians 13:5. This means that any man in fellowship with you is going to have to endure your selfishness in order to be with you. This habit of entitlement will lower the quality of your relationships and your options in men. Don't shoot the messenger. For that truth, I'm now a bully.
Yeah, but that's where we're at now.
No, we're not, because here's the end of the story. The end of the story is I got the notice from Instagram. They said, you know, this constitutes whatever of a violation of our community guidelines. I saw the thing, and when you get them, it says you can contest it. I contested it. 2 hours later, they hit me back. They said, we are reinstituting your comment. It did not violate our boundaries and our guidelines. Thank you so much. It's being fun. So my point is, try it if you want to. I'm going to contest it every single time. You know what I mean? Like, that's just ridiculous. But I do want to say, and now I've blocked her, which is why some of the comments are gone, which all she did was, number one, prove how rebellious she is, prove that she's not humble, that she cannot accept teaching, which, by the way, some of the guys got on there and explained to her, you know, this broad DM'd me. You didn't have to say, and by the way, and all you had to do was, no. What I did was say, ladies, be silent and learn. You didn't listen to that. Then you come in here trying to teach the men something. It's not your place. And if you ever think that I'm not fair, I literally posted a day or two later, ladies, now it's your turn. So the entitlement and the rebelliousness is ridiculous. And here's what I will say, and then I want to toss it to you. I'm constantly surprised by the fact that women really don't have any idea how this rebelliousness plays a role in their relationships, in the deterioration of their relationship, and in their interactions with the men in their life. They really don't know how draining, exhausting, anxious, confusing, frustrating, annoying it is to the men in our life. We don't understand how disrespectful it is.
And look, all right, like, speaking for myself, speaking for the guys in my circle, speaking for the men that I talk to.
By the way, she don't represent any of the men in my circle. She's a novice. She's a neophyte, FYI. But go ahead.
You know, it's exactly what you're saying. And look, the scriptures do say that this is going to happen, you know. But as men, we need to be vigilant. And we need to remember something. And I'm glad there's so many brothers watching today. You need to remember you are the cornerstone of your home, of your family, of your community, of your nation, of this planet. Everything comes from you. God put you here, took the woman out of you. Then when you and the woman got together, your seed came through the woman into this earth. Okay? You need to understand it starts with you. So you need to put yourself in a position of alignment with God so that you are straight in all aspects. When you do that, it is easier for you to find a woman that is going to be a blessing to you. We need to stop going outside of God to find these women who are no good for us and trying to drag them into the presence of God. It's not going to work. We need to stop trying to...
Say that again.
We need to stop going outside of God to find these chicks out there in the world, trying to bring them back in, making a housewife out of a H. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. Okay, she's not built for that life. She hasn't done the preparation. She hasn't done the work. Leave her alone. Stop trying to find these disrespectful...
But you know the sex is good, Kofi.
Yo, the sex is good. The STDs are going to be good as well. The stress is going to be good. The high blood pressure is going to be good. The division she's going to cause in your family is going to be good. The drama she's going to cause in your home is going to be good. The alimony she's going to collect from you every single month is going to be good. The flipping maintenance check she's going to cut from you every month is going to be good. The drama she puts you through in court every flipping year is going to be good. You get where I'm coming from? You need to find a woman who is aligned to God, who can honor what you bring to the table and respect you for the type of man you are. Because I know that most guys, and I know a lot of women don't believe this, but most guys out here are trying to do the right thing. When guys encounter the truth about what a man is supposed to be doing, we don't say, what? For real? I'm supposed to be doing this? Oh snap, yo, it's a bit of a challenge, but let me try and get it right. Then you step outside and you try and find somebody to give that love to because Kofi just told you that, yo, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman, and then you pick the wrong chick.
Yes.
With your heart, who makes you think that, oh, flip, what Kofi was saying is trash.
The wrong chick ain't got nothing to do with Christ, and I know too many men who are picking the wrong women.
Absolutely nothing to do with them. So we need to get aligned, all right, and learn to love ourselves. We really do, fellas. We really do. So that when we pick a woman, it's a woman who reflects the love that we have for ourselves. Like that woman is gonna be on some, yo, you work out, don't stop working out because you met me. Okay? You go for seminars every year, don't stop going to seminars because you met me. In fact, go for an extra one. Okay? Oh, you spend time with your mom and your dad, and you check in on them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, don't stop doing that now that I'm in the picture. Because I don't want them thinking that I'm the reason why you don't check up on them anymore. You have to maintain those bonds. All right? The right woman is going to be on some, oh, you're out here pushing a side hustle aside from your job. Don't stop that because I'm in the picture. Don't let up because I'm in the picture. If anything, I'm going to help you build on what you're doing. That's the kind of woman you're supposed to be going for. All right? And this woman actually wants to listen to what you have to say. When you're spitting the word in her ear, she wants to hear what you have to say. Some of these women act like they want to hear what you have to say, and then once they have you in the bag, then you see their true colors. And we stick around because we're confused, thinking, oh, she's going through a spiritual episode. Nah, bro, that's who she is.
I've heard that. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard from how many men about the women that they are with who, when they talk about God, the women could not care less what they have to say.
Meanwhile, you know, all up on social media is the daughter of the Most High, like God's daughter. God,
okay, but wait, let's flip that too, because your girl has dated quite a few men, and the men in the church are the worst.
Hold on.
Everyone's trying to get me to compromise the worst. And
hold on.
You're discouraged.
Hold on,
I'm like, wait a minute. Where are the men?
Hold on, dude. This ain't that part of the show just yet. Wait.
Okay. You know, I waited for a long time. I'm sorry. I'll do that tomorrow.
But for real, fellas, we need to do better. And having seen that video today, you know, like the first time, like I watched a video of his a few weeks ago where he was talking about how he met his wife. I normally don't listen to a lot of these guys because I know like they're not rooted in the word. So like I was just curious. I'm like, all right, like let me hear what this guy has to say. When I heard how he met his wife and what it took for him to commit to his wife, I was on something like, this woman is going to dominate this dude. Why? And guess what?
What did it take?
So basically, you know, like he was running game on, like he was being a player.
Yeah.
He met her, and they what do you call it? Like they got to talking or something, blah blah blah, and then I think she caught him cheating or chatting with some other girl, and then I think she ghosted him after that, like on some like, you know what, dude, like do you? And that was his wake-up call that, oh, I need to have her in my life. My problem with that is you don't even know this person well enough to decide whether this is somebody worth committing to. It's what you like. It's what you keep talking about, D. Like that whole thing of guys think because she's hard to get.
I told the value. Y'all value whatever is hard. So the moment that she had this standard, you're like, oh, her standard is the thing that makes her amazing, but you still haven't checked anything else. And I'm not saying standards are bad. Standards are good, but it's not enough. I got you.
But the right standard. So like God's standard for the wife is, you know, Proverbs 31. It talks about her character first and foremost. Character. So she's got kindness on her tongue. Conscientious. She's selfless. Yes, she's out here working. Yes, she's out here making all this money and all that kind of stuff. But her family lacks for nothing. Why? Because she cares for her family. Okay. Her husband, you know, his heart can trust in her. Do you know how hard it is for a man's heart to trust in his woman?
I have spoken with rarely a man who trusts in his woman, who trusts
Like,
his
like
heart. It's very rare.
there are guys who've been married to the woman for 20, 30 years. They don't trust that woman.
That's what I'm saying. It's very rare. I've spoken very rarely do I speak with a man who trusts
You
his
know.
heart with his woman. True
So,
story.
so, so, so scripture breaks it down like that's the true standard, character. And most of us are not going for character. We're going for personality. Oh, she's got a great personality. She's really friendly. She's really feisty. I
Y'all ain't
like
going
that.
for personality. Y'all are going for body and sex. Tell the truth.
Yo, listen, like that's part of personality.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
part of
You put it that
personality.
way.
The persona. You, you know what I'm saying? So it's and like like and what's even worse about like the whole persona thing is it's an act. That's
I
not who the
know.
person is. You keep talking about the representative. Personality. When you get excited over personality, you're getting excited over the act the person's putting on. You don't know who they really are. So when he said all this stuff, I was on something like, yo, like, okay, like this sounds a little dodge to me, because he said nothing about character. He said nothing about boom, boom, boom. He just talked about what she had, what she was doing at the time, and it looked good to him. And he'd never, like had a woman like say or do this to him before, and boom, that was it. Then I caught a couple of other videos where they converse together, and I was on some like, I was picking up like the body language, and I was a little concerned. So when I saw the video today, I wasn't really surprised. What really shocked me was just like the extent to which she took it, and
I haven't
the
seen it.
way,
I can't wait to see it now.
oh look, the way he took that disrespect. I'm like, nah, man, no, no. This is that whole nice guy nonsense. Because in his mind, he's probably thinking, if I check this woman in front of everybody, I'm going to lose points with the feminist brigade, which means I'm going to lose followers, I'm going to lose money. That's probably what this dude is thinking. But your whole image, your dignity has been called into question. Your manliness has been called into question. It's beyond me. And she's just standing there smug, like, yeah, I told this dude, boom, 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 boom. And he's just, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, what kind of idiocy is this? Someone needs to shave this fool and get him some lipstick. Real talk. But yeah, maybe that's
Men
just me.
haven't been taught about masculinity though either. Let's tell the truth. A lot of men have not been taught what it is to be masculine either. And a lot of men have not been taught you never allow your woman to disrespect you. You don't allow that.
Ever.
So on one hand, women are never to disrespect their man. And anyone who's ever followed me for any length of time has heard me say, and I reiterate it in the classes, the way we do everything is in respect. So we figure out, even in the worst of conflicts, we figure out how to still address this man in a manner that is respectful, but also meets our needs. So, you know what I mean? There's a beautiful balance in figuring out how can this man is being disrespectful to me. How can I not disrespect him, but at the same time, let him know what my need is. And at the same time, make sure that I'm being taken care of too. And I will say this, and I don't know how it's about to sound, but I'm just going to say it. For most women, particularly for most Black women, that's never even been a thought.
No.
It's not even been a thought. It's not been a standard. Our standard is always like, you better make that man make that man respect you, or respect is earned, or which if respect is earned, that means that you're allowed to disrespect men until they earn it. Or it's oh gosh, what's the third one? The most important one. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Oh, it's, well, I was mad, so I'm allowed to disrespect him. No. You're not. You're never. And what I'm saying is there are a lot of women for whom it is an introductory statement for them to hear. Wait a minute. You mean I could go for 50 years with a guy and never disrespect him? Yes, you actually can. And I'm going to teach you how. Join the women's group. It's $99 for 4 weeks of teaching. And I will teach you how to do this. I will teach you so much more. But yeah, if you were raised in a household with a wife who disrespected her husband, or a mama who was by herself and just had a bunch of boyfriends, or with a mama who was single and she didn't teach you anything about men, and all the women in your life run the game and run the show, and they're in charge and all that stuff, join the women's group. Please join the women's group.
Don't
DM
bring
me.
them around me. West
Dude,
Africa for real. Ask Puff Daddy.
dude.
I'm playing those
DM
games.
me for real. I will get you all the way right. And I want to, for anybody who's afraid that what I'm saying is, wait a minute, are you saying that he gets to disrespect me? Clearly, no. Your standard is to respect him. His standard is to cherish you. I teach both parties how to do that. Right now I'm working with the women. Next I'll work with the men. If you have a man and you are in the women's group, you should send him to the men's group so I can teach him the same thing, both so that he's learning how to cherish and adore you, but also, I'm be honest, I'm right here with Kofi. I'm going to teach him how to never allow you to disrespect him either. Excuse me, never allow you to disrespect him either, and I won't do it by having him be disrespectful to you. I will do it by having him assert his masculinity, which is a healthy, good, godly thing. DM me for details.
On a more secular note, so a lot of people, like right now, there's a lot of talk about gender-based violence in South Africa, because whenever we have these kinds of conversations, somehow the topic always goes to gender-based violence. And people forget that gender-based violence, implies that there's more than one gender being affected by the violence, right? Ladies, it's not just women being abused. Men get abused every single day. All right? And because men are not going to the police station to report it for fear of being shamed, for fear of being ridiculed, does not mean it's not happening. The fact that guys would rather kill themselves rather than own up to their pain does not mean that we're not going through it. The fact that some guys spaz out, put hands on their women, does not mean that this woman did not do things to provoke. And in fact, when I say stuff like that, people get all up in arms like, oh, you see, when you use words like trigger and when you use words like provoke, you're justifying. No, you dummies. Please, oh, Lord, please think for a second before y'all comment. Because it is very possible for a woman to provoke a man. It is very possible. We're all human. We are all human. But y'all tend to exploit our humanity a little too much.
Don't
and
say
some of
y'all. Say some.
I'm talking to the ones who are doing it, actually. Okay? Y'all tend to exploit that situation a little too much. And you forget something. Right now, the tide is turning. Okay? The Constitution that protects the rights of women also protects the rights of men. The fact that men have not been exercising their constitutional rights does not mean that men are not going to do so in future. In fact, that tide is starting to turn. So now women are now being taken to court for abuse. Women are now being taken to court for gender-based violence. So you either get in front of this thing and learn how to relate to men in a healthy fashion, or you're going to find yourselves on the cover of newspapers or in a prison cell next to the male abusers because y'all just are not trying to get it. This Constitution protects all genders. Okay, both. Let me not say all, like encourage that kind of.
You better be careful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it needs to stop.
Said, or you're a woman who watched her dad disrespect her mom and vowed never to allow that. So you went to the other, so need to get to work. Trust me, I was her. I know. I agree. I'm sorry. That's the optics. I agree with you. That's another segment of the population that we forgot. Was absolutely. There are a lot of women who have been abused or who have watched the abuse, and as a result of the abuse, they overcorrect. And to that end, is her abuse or is her experience of abuse valid? Absolutely. But every once in a while, you guys will hear me. This is a great seg for this. But you'll hear me every once in a while, and I'll be going through the comments on my page, and someone will say something like this, and I'll say, you learned the wrong lesson. I'll say wrong lesson. Because what I'm hearing the person say is, I got a broken heart, and as a result of my broken heart, I'll never love again, or all men are dogs, or I hate men, so now I'm mean to the men, or I hate the women, so I'm mean to the women, whatever it is. But I'm going, your broken heart is valid, but what you learned from it, what you extracted from it is poisoning you. So you just have to change the lesson. So you're absolutely right. The lesson that you learn from a woman who watched her dad disrespect her mom and vowed never to allow that. So you went to the other extreme. I get it. Joyce Meyer did that a lot too, and it almost ruined her marriage initially until her husband finally came to her and said, "If these things don't change, I'm gonna leave." And she finally was like, "Okay, God, like change me." And so she's awesome because she walks you through how she had to change those heart sets and mindsets, etc. But she really did, and she had every reason to, which is why I bring her up. She had every reason to be angry and bitter and to feel like no man will ever disrespect me again and will ever dominate me or be in control of me again, because she was raped from 5 to 18 till she left home by her dad. So she had, no, it's such a beautiful story though. I know it's awful when you hear it, but I love it because of all of the people for God to use to tell us as just general population women for whom we never experienced an atrocity like that. If God could literally take her and get her to a point where she forgave her dad, led her dad to the Lord near the end of his life, led her mom to the Lord by the end of her life, took care of both of them financially, etc. And by the time her dad came to the Lord, she literally had no malice, no unforgiveness, no hatred, no anger, no brokenness, not even any pain. She was so completely healed by the process that she walked out with God. If she could do that, I know I can do it. And so in saying that, I'm just saying, having a testimony like that on the books allows me to say to any woman, you know, I understand what happened to you, but whatever happened to you, the command is still the same. The command is, you know, love your neighbor, honor your husband, respect your husband, and even submit to your husband, because she started off like, I'm not submitting to him. You know what I mean? She literally was like, there's no way I'm going to submit to him. Now she's a submissive wife. And so that's why I'm saying there's nothing that God ever tells us to do that he doesn't also empower us to do. But we have to walk through the process in order for us to have the power to do it. And the good news is we don't have to do it by ourselves. He'll do it in us. He'll do it through us. He gives us the Holy Spirit as our help. He gives us dunamis power. Like, there's so much help. There's grace for us to do it. He empowers us. There's so much. But yeah, we don't have to do it alone. But if he says to do it, he means to do it.
I just want to add this to it. I think far too often people think that men or women think that men don't go through that kind of trauma of molestation, of rape at the hands of women. I've shared on this platform before how at the age of, I think it was about 11, there was a girl in high school who tried to have her way with me. She was about 16, 17. She got a couple of the high school boys to grab me so she could, you know, like, yeah. Oh, no. Listen, like, even as an adult now, like, there are some women who still try their luck. You know, like, except now with me, it's different. It's a woman trying to get me into a certain area and then making her advances. And then if I say no, it's like, well, I'm going to accuse you of rape. I'm going to accuse you of this. Yes, this kind of stuff happens. A lot of my friends, their first sexual experiences were women in their own home or their mom's friends, things like that. So these guys were about 7, 8, 9 years old, and they had these women performing oral sex on them, getting these boys to perform oral sex on them. They had some had cousins, female cousins, taking turns, you know, doing things to them at the age of 11, 12, whatever the case may be. You know, it's crazy. But again, because
I'm gonna say I've heard a lot of this. I wish that what you were saying were not true, but the more men have let me in, unfortunately, the more men have been. It's atrocious how many men have been through this. You're right.
So again, you know, my heart breaks a little bit when we do the whole, you know, yeah, men put women through all this, men put through, because it's not like we're not getting affected too. we also get affected. We also get abused. We also get molested. We also get harassed. Some of you want to
To
know
be
some.
fair, to be fair, if I could just add something to that,
Yeah.
once Joyce was healed and was able to go back into her dad's story, she did find out he had been abused too. So abusers abuse, like, he was doing what had been done to him, and that doesn't excuse it,
Yeah.
but it does give you context to go, whoa, he
Yeah.
really thought that was normal because it was done to him.
Yeah. It's we look. This is where I have to repent a little bit because sometimes I can be heavy-handed, and like today I was really on one, but you need to understand. I hear the story from both sides, and I'm equally angry for both sides because at the end of the day, there really aren't two sides. It's one side. We're God's kids, and if one of us is damaged and we don't heal from that damage, then we go to our partners, we infect them with that damage, and then it becomes a generational thing because we have kids and then we affect the kids. Look what happened with Joyce, for example. If I were to go back into my family's history, I'm sure I'd find some pretty nasty stuff. Like, we know about the polygamy already, but I'm sure there've been some rapes. I'm sure there's been some molestation and all that kind of crap.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
when it comes to poverty, like, there's no telling what people have been through. Most of the women, I would say easily about 60% of the women that I've dated have either been molested or raped. It is frightening. But what they don't know is that many of the guys that they've been with have either been molested or have almost been molested and don't trust women. You see, like, when we
That's
talk about
the part nobody talks about. I'm glad you're saying that. Nobody knows that we know about the women being molested. We don't know that half the other population was molested too. We don't know that.
It's and it's harder for us to talk about it. You see, you guys get support when you talk about it. Men generally don't, and that makes it that much harder for us to live with it. And if a guy was molested by a woman and he's not allowed to talk about
Yeah,
it,
no,
and
I've heard, and this sucks, because I weep for the boys, but I've had male clients of mine and men who weren't clients of mine, but when they share it, the hard part about it is if a woman is the person who molested them, nobody hears the boy. No one hears the heart of the boy. Nobody hears a boy going, yeah, but I didn't like that. Yeah, but I didn't want that. Yeah, but I was confused. Yeah, but I was a kid. Yeah, but she stole my innocence. Yeah, but that not, no. Everything is just, oh, well, man, what are you talking about? You didn't get raped. You didn't get molested. Like, high five. Like, you went. Like, and they completely forget this was a boy, an impressionable, innocent young boy who did not ask for this. And that is still a rape or a molestation. I agree with you.
and let me just add this to it. Like, it goes further than the high five. You get shamed for not enjoying it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, no, high five. Like, you were, yeah. Like, what's up with you? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, yeah. Like, are
You
you
get
gay
shamed.
or something? Yeah.
When I reported what that girl almost did to me, like, my boys are like, "Are you crazy?"
Right.
Everybody's trying to get with him. I'm like, but that doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. My one of my like a former boy of mine. This guy is a known, like, he is promiscuous. Dude is married and is still cheating on his wife to this day. And part of his pain is he has to walk into family reunions 3 times,
Still
4
see the person.
see those girls or see those women who did that to him, carrying themselves around like pillars of society, knowing what they did to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Oprah shared the same short story. I know that's unfortunately like a dirty family secret in a lot of families, both men and women. I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? So we really need to, A, start loving ourselves more so that we can come to a place of healing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. But the second thing is we also need to start learning how to be more compassionate with each other. Because
Yes.
for real, like for the men, there's a reason why we're told to live with our wives with knowledge and understanding. You need to know what this woman has been through. You need to understand what has formed this person that you're living with today. You can't just bring her into your life and keep her at a distance talking about you're loving her. How are you going to love her properly if you don't know her? If you don't know what is needed? If you don't know what she's been through? If you don't understand, like where her mind is that where her fears stem from and all that kind of stuff. And then ladies, when you have a man who is living with you with knowledge and understanding, mirror that. Learn. Because like this is one area that is killing marriages today where women don't want to learn anything about their husbands anymore.
And
You
vice
know,
versa. But I will say this, men, when you see in the dating process, and I got to teach this men's class, when you see in the dating process that she is not interested in the things that are interesting to you, leave her. I can't tell you how many men are with women and they're literally thinking about marrying them, and the woman is showing multiple signs of disinterest. And for some reason, going back to what we talked about earlier, the men, I don't know what's going wrong. The men are viewing disinterest as somehow that means she's valuable. She's
it's
high
not a
value
challenge.
because she's not interested in me.
It's not a challenge, fellas. It's
That's
not a
what I'm
challenge.
saying. I'm like, are you crazy? That's a red flag.
She doesn't want you.
No, she doesn't. She
Look,
wants something you have. She likes that you're 6'4". She likes the way you put it down. She likes the way y'all look in pictures. She likes the way that you guys, she likes your reputation. You bring her whatever it is she needs for her friends and her parents to say, great, well done. But she does not like you. And if you have placed a value on her, and this is something men need to start thinking about, if you have placed a value on that woman prior to getting to know her and understanding what her character, which equals her quality, her intrinsic, not external perceived value is, then you don't know. Oh, well, I put a value on her, and then this is how it tends to go. I put a value on her. I saw her, and she was the one girl who wouldn't talk to me when all the other ones would talk to me. And then when I finally got my cash together, and I finally got my body up, and I finally got my weight up, and I finally got that job I wanted, and I finally got that degree I wanted, then I went for her, and I got her. I still haven't heard anything about her character, even her like for you. I haven't even heard that she likes you. I've heard nothing but I got something I couldn't get. And that is what is poisoning you people.
fellas.
I want the thing I can't get. Okay, that is a low, what's the word? It's a low, it's a low standard for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you got the girl that nobody else could get and that you couldn't get. Now you're stuck with this broad who is so entitled, so jerky, so willing to leave you at the drop of the hat if you do anything wrong. You get sick, she's not there. You lose your job, she's gone. Your friends come around, you got to worry about them with her. Like everything possible. But hey, man, I got the chick that nobody else could get. I mean, okay.
Nobody else wanted her, bro. Nobody else wanted her. Real talk. No one else wanted her. You
I
were
don't
the
know. So there's a lot of guys who like her.
no.
I don't
Nobody
know if
was.
nobody else wanted her. I don't
No,
know.
nobody was trying to wife her. Nobody was trying
Nobody
to
else
wife.
could get her.
No, but you see, like that's what she told you, or that's what you thought. See, like a lot of us go in with this high school mentality of yeah, she was a popular girl in school and all that kind of stuff. Listen, now like you're 30 years old, 35, 40 years old, and you finally got her. You think she hasn't been ran through in those years? Are you serious? Are you the popular girl? Are you serious? Come on, man. Wake up. Wake up. Listen, when you're looking for a wife, the Bible says you're looking for someone who brings you good and not harm. You find a good thing and you find favor with God. Just for the record, that favor won't mean a thing if you yourself are not right with God. I'm sorry, bro. It won't mean much. She'll do all the right things in the home. That does not necessarily mean you're going to be blessed. It means like she'll create a blessed environment. You can't really partake in it because you're just acting the fool in a blessed environment.
By the way, I would also like to add to what you posted today where you said you can't be a prayer warrior and a side chick. To that, I would like to say you can't be a prayer warrior as a guy and have a side chick, or you can't be a man after God's own heart and have a side chick either. There's a lot of men out here who think they're godly and they only visit somebody 3 days a week and think that they're great. Huh?
Double standards. I'm talking to the women, and you out here like trying to start talking.
My bad. I keep getting carried away. We'll do that tomorrow. My bad. I'm sorry. One at a time. I submit.
Anyway, you were saying? But look, listen, guys, look, at the end of the day, I want us to really get this. We talk the whole guys this, women this, men this, wives this, husbands that. At the end of the day, we're all God's children.
Yes.
Obedience is obedience regardless of gender, regardless of sex. If you're going to be disobedient, don't look at a man sleeping around and think, well, I can do the same thing. Listen, that guy's fornicating in God's eyes. God's going to punish him. So when you fornicate, don't think it's going to be on some, well, because you're the weaker vessel, I'm not going to punish you. He will punish you. Okay? When he's cheating on you and you're like, well, like two can play that game, he will punish you too. When you disrespect your husband, God will punish you. Go read the word. Like y'all go to these churches and they don't tell you these things. I don't know how these pastors are missing all this stuff. Yes, Tina, even the guy that has side chicks. Everyone, anyone, all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory. All. And the wages of sin, all sin, is death. Regardless of gender. So let's stop pointing the finger at the other, men do this and women do that. And let's actually start getting ourselves right. Let's just focus on that. Eyes to Heaven is asking, but how does he punish you? Do you really want to go there? Because I know D will happily hit you with a fire and the brimstone. No, listen, punish, Adriana, punish. See, in church, they're not talking about this that much anymore. Okay? God is not mocked. God is not mocked. He has said, all sin comes with a penalty. All right? Whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you sow lies, you will reap lies. If you sow murder, you will reap murder. It may not be your life that's forfeit. It may be the life of someone else in your family or someone close to you. You never know. All right? By the time we get to things like infidelity, okay, or sex before marriage, that's sex against your very own body. Sex is the only sin that we perform or we engage in that actually affects our own bodies. So if we allow ourselves to become slaves to lust, because that's the only thing that we're engaging in outside of marriage. I don't care how strong your feelings are for this person. I don't care how strong the bond is, and you guys like both love Barry Manilow and
Shut up. Who I love, by the way. I do love Barry, but you could have said Luther. Keep going.
I'm a Barry fan too, but but at the end of the day, in God's eyes, it is lust. And what happens is that he says, if you keep doing this foolishness, I will hand you over to your depraved desires. I will hand you over to your lustful desires. What that means is you have no way out now. Pretty much. That's it. That's more than conviction. Conviction is when he's telling you, yo, don't do it. Don't do it. I can see you're thinking about doing it. Don't do it. Then you go do it anyway. You come back, oh Lord, I'm sorry, I slipped. You know my heart. It's like, all right, cool. I'll forgive you this one time, but don't play with my grace. Then you know something like, man, please, you're God. The pastor told me that this is the era of grace, where I can do anything I want to, and your grace covers a multitude of sins.
And you're going to pay for a multitude of sins.
Hey, go read those scriptures in context.
You're going to pay for a multitude. It's not funny, you guys. Like, the hard part about it is he doesn't tell you how you're going to pay. That's how creative the repayment will be.
Yeah.
But he says things like, there's not a person on earth who, when you decide you're going to sin, you count up the cost and you decide, yep, I got the money for this. It's all good. No problem, whatever. And you order steak and lobster and champagne and you just keep ordering and ordering. Listen, the bill is coming, my friend. My friend, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So, yeah, it never, when you're doing the deed, it's always fun. When the bill comes, it's always way more than you thought that it would be. It's never convenient, and it never doesn't hurt. I'm not even going to tell y'all because I'm super ashamed of the sin that I'm thinking of right now, but I will never forget having committed a sin. And it's like I'd say it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So I know what it was, and I know when I did it. And this is more than a decade ago, and I'll never forget. This was my punishment. My immediate punishment was, I had just bought a brand new laptop, and I was leaving out of my apartment complex, and I had a roommate. And like I said, this is like 10 years ago. This is more than 10 years ago. I had a roommate, and I was leaving that morning, and we only had one parking spot for the complex. And so she had the parking spot. I had to park on the street. So I would have to take all of this stuff, my laptop bag and my purse. And I was like working out. So I had like my workout stuff and my water and all my food and everything, because I'm, packing my lunch and all this stuff. So I had all these bags full of stuff. And so I put them inside of the gate of my complex, including my laptop bag and everything. Because I was like, I don't feel like trudging all this stuff, 3 blocks away to where I parked my car. Let me just, put this inside the gate and I'm going to come back. I came back and all my stuff was gone, including my brand new laptop. And I literally told God, yep, that's about right. We're good. We're even. All good. No problem. And I literally took it on the hip and walked off. Like, I totally deserve that. I totally deserve, like, no fuss, no crying, no nothing. Just, yep, you got me. Okay, we're good. Okay, God, I hear you. Let's keep going. Never happen again.
See, I just want to add something. The Bible keeps saying God is a just God.
That's what I felt like. That was justice. That's exactly what I felt. And by the way, can I just say, I didn't file a report. I didn't scream and cry. I wasn't, everything is unfair. Like the person on my page who I told you guys about. I'm sorry, I have to bring it back to, what am I saying? I'm talking about an attitude of the heart, an attitude that can be corrected. Do you guys not know how dangerous it is to not allow God to correct you? Like, it was bad enough I did what I did. Now he's justifying and weighting the scales so they're balanced out. Can you imagine if I was like, forget this, I'm about to go file a lawsuit, I want my stuff back, really? Are you crazy? But that's how entitled people are today. Rebellious, entitled, no humility.
And the worst thing about being rebellious, entitled, and prideful is that God says that he will blind your eyes to the truth. He will make sure you don't know or understand what you need to know and understand in order to do right. That's one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. That's one of the
worst. No, I should not have filed a police report. You're not. There's a higher law going on. You're right. I felt guilty. It's not that I felt guilty. I was guilty. Like, do you understand? Okay, there's a part of repentance. People don't understand, because you're right. People don't teach this. There's a part of repentance that has everything to do with paying back, paying restitution. That was my restitution. You guys think, like, you guys really think you can do stuff for free and you can get away with stuff. You really do.
D, can I just say something quickly?
Please.
Look, when we become born again, you see, what many of these churches do is that they tell you, you walk in here, you confess that you're a sinner, you accept the Lord as your Savior, you repent, and you get baptized, and you walk out, and it's all hunky-dory. No, you are now a bondservant. Once you accept Him as Lord and Savior, that means you are now a slave. You have willingly said, thank you for paying my bail out of sin and out of death. That's what you've done. Now, I now give my life to you, meaning anything you say I should do, I shall do, because that's what a good servant does for his or her master. Now, what we do nowadays as modern day believers is that we become born again, and then we go right back into the sin. We go right back to serving the old master, meaning that we cannot serve the new master. God is very clear. You cannot serve two. You can only serve one. So when you keep going back to your old sin, what you're saying is, God, I'm going to disobey you. And the irony here is that God has already told us, you are forgiven, go forth, sin no more. That's the actual command. Sin no more. Yeah, but you're supposed to be shunning your human side and seeking to be more like the spirit that sustains you. That's the reality. But most of us don't want to do that because we're not bondservants to Christ. We're not slaves of Christ. We're not servants of Christ. We still want to do our will instead of God's will. So guess what? When you come to Him and say, Father, I want to do your will, then you turn around and walk away from His will. You've proven yourself to be a liar. And this is what God says. The fear of me, God, is the beginning of knowledge. If you genuinely fear me, and you genuinely revere me, and you genuinely worship me, and you genuinely love me, you will go and seek knowledge on who I am and what I want you to do. When you do that, you will begin to conduct your life according to how I want you to conduct your life.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you can go to church and sing all you want to, pray all you want to. I don't know you, because He says that those who reject the knowledge, those who don't want the knowledge, those who refuse to read the word, those who refuse to take instruction, those people, because they have rejected knowledge, I will reject them. And furthermore, I will not allow them to represent me, meaning you dare not call yourselves Christians. You dare not call yourselves believers. This is the reality of this faith that many of us profess, but actually know nothing about.
Don't know anything about. There are people talking right now. There's two comments I want to talk about. One was, is the punishment in the same area of the sin? For example, if you cheated, do you get cheated on? A lot of people don't correlate the punishment to what the sin was if it isn't. If I had cheated, I would be open to the fact that in the future, if my husband cheats on me, I sowed that. I think that's the difference that you all don't understand. Like, you reap what you sow. It's solid. It's written in stone. You can't undo it. So if I'm out here sowing cheating and I'm thinking I'm going to get married and God is just going to bless me with someone who never cheats on me, if God does that, that's the goodness of God. If He doesn't, I deserve it. I've sown what I see. Okay. God tells us what His law is, and the law is you reap what you sow, and that's it. If God happens to have a great day and today He just decides I'm going to be a good God and I'm going to keep I'm going to keep the devourer from devouring what you have put into place, That's his right to do that. But it is not your place to expect to not reap what you have sown, because that's what you put out there. So that's the first part. Second part is no, not necessarily. And by not necessarily, what I mean is, no, it's not necessarily that if I cheat, I'm going to be cheated on. Remember what Kofi said earlier. It could be that I cheat, nobody cheats on me, but all of my children get cheated on. Now, my heart is broken because I'm watching my children who are faithful to their spouses get cheated on. Now, like, that's going to rip me apart. But God is a just God, so God is the only one who knows. When y'all be like, God knows my heart, you don't understand what you're saying. Y'all be playing with him. God knows exactly where to hit you to correct you so you can feel the pain that you have inflicted upon others. So it could be that you're going to get cheated on. It could be that your children are going to get cheated on. It could be that whoever you care the most about on this planet is going to get cheated on. It could be all of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's why I'm saying, and I learned this when I was studying Satanism. God is a very, very just God. He's good. He's better than you guys could even believe. He's so good. He wants Satanists to even be saved, even when they hate, kill, do whatever, like the worst of the worst. He still loves them and wants their souls to be saved too. But the way that he meters out justice, and if you guys read the word, you'll see it, is it's not one thing. It's the perfect thing in any situation, and perfection changes from position to position, from person to person, from lifetime to lifetime, from individual to individual. And it's not because we don't serve the same God who's the same at all times. It's because him knowing your heart means he absolutely knows what's going to hit you is going to hit me different. And so it's going to have a completely different effect. What I can say, though, is you're absolutely right. There's no condemnation in him. The condemnation means he's not going to send you to hell because you're his and you're submitted to the judgment. But he is going to judge you. And everybody just keeps thinking you escape. So for the girl who said you should have called the cops, no, I shouldn't. To call the cops would have been entitlement. It would have been pride. It would have been arrogance. It would have been me disagreeing with God on another level. It would have been me saying to God, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not that crazy.
Deacon, ask something. Like, also the way God works is this. You will know it was him. That's why Dee didn't. That's why Dee didn't even call. Like, because she knew. Like, the Holy Spirit lets you know right then and there. Hey, remember this? This is why I'm doing this.
I was like, okay, sir.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. And look, the way God works. Look, I mean, let's stop and think about Job for a second. Job was a righteous man in God's eyes. And God said, let me remove my protection from Job. And he removed his protection and he told Satan, you can do whatever you want to do to this guy, even though he has not sinned. You can do whatever you want to do to this guy. And as long as you don't kill him, I'm good with it. Satan decimated this guy. Then Job went back to God on some like, Lord, I am perfect. I am holy in your eyes. How could you do this to me? And God's like, who are you?
Where were you when I told the stars?
Like who?
The sky? Where were you when I told the oceans, come this far and no further? I mean, he told him stuff that would literally have you like, man, that's just not fair. I mean, you're just right, God. You're just right. Like, I have no place to appear.
And the moment Job was like, Lord, you're right, God's like, all right, cool. Now let me reinstate, and in fact, let me exceed what I did for you before, because now your heart's in the right place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when we go to him with this attitude of like, well, Lord, like, a loving God wouldn't do this. You don't know. You've been sinning your whole life. Who are you to go to God and be on something like, well, Lord, how are you going to punish me for this?
A loving God would have killed you when you came out your mama's womb so you wouldn't have sinned against him. How about that?
Flip. Man, flip, 20 seconds left.
Okay, but does it only take place in regards to marriage? If you cheat when you are not in a marriage, does it count? Since marriage is what's honorable in God's eyes. Yes, it counts. Think about it this way. If you're married and somebody cheats on are you okay? Yeah, come back. Just for a little bit. Only 5 minutes, like 5 minutes.